He's never fought someone as long and tall as me. He's not fought someone as fast as me. He's not fought someone who has the distance management, the boxing capabilities, the head movement that I did, but also the takedown defense. He might get me down. I hope he does, because I want to prove to the world that he can't submit me. I don't care if he's an internationally recognized master of Sambo or not. I'm going to bounce him on his skull, and I'm going to take his title, I'm going to take his throne, and I'm going to finish that consecutive win streak. And I'll always be the guy that stopped history from happening.
Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
Okay, because Islam Makhachev is the GOAT. He's going to take him down. The man's Irish. They don't wrestle in Ireland, for crying out loud. Well, guess what? He's a well-rounded mixed martial artist. He's 17-1. He had a very, very close fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Ended the fight, threatening the rear naked choke. He beat the former champion, Belal Muhammad, that wrestled the life out of Leon Edwards, okay? So this is a real fight. Before you start to think that this is just going to be one-way traffic, I'm telling you, this is going to be a lot tougher than what you
Do you think Michael Morales deserves it over Ian Garry, though?
I think so, definitely.
Wow.
Just a better, funner style, you know. He delivers more of a fight. He's undefeated in the same promotion, you know, and maybe he hasn't fought all the guys Ian's fought, but he's fought in a lot of good guys, and he's made them look really bad, you know. He fought Sean Brady, and Sean Brady's a stud. He got him out of there, no problems. And Sean Brady could grapple, man. I know the fight wasn't that long that we could measure him up that much, but it kind of shows like what he could do against these grapplers, you know.
Well, I mean, he obviously has had like that one touch knockout power. He's probably the biggest guy at that weight class.
And his background is grappling. He did judo and wrestling for like a long, long time. He started with that since he's like 6, 7 years old. He competed all to his streams in judo and wrestling. So I like that he has that in his back pocket to face a guy like Makhachev, you know.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue. I would love to see Morales in there with him. I mean, Ian Garry, like, he's a very smart fighter. He probably deserves it if you look at his record and the guys he's beating. But
the way he beats him, like,
it's a lot of footwork. You know, he's staying on the jab. He'll clinch him on the cage. It's not as exciting as like a Morales who could go out there. I think he's knocked out everybody he's fought.
Ian Garry, it's like anything. He's got a trade here. He does have the length. Ian does a very good job of controlling distance. Islam does a better job, I believe, of taking away distance. But you got a training camp, you got some time. Ian Garry, in theory, with that distance, in theory, he's right. If he can learn to keep you at the end of their punches. But I also find end of punches and controlling range to be lazy from guys that are trying to do what I do. I find end of punches, keeping range, I find this to be throwaway terms that fight analysts do. And the reason I say that, Dan Hooker is the only MMA guy I've ever seen that knows how to keep you at the end of punches and use range. And in the world of boxing, I got to go all the way back to the hitman Tommy Hearns. Like in theory, yes, in theory, if you can keep the guy's head out here at the end of your punch and you've got this distance, he can't get in and take you down, in theory. But one guy since 1993 has actually done it, Dan Hooker. One guy in boxing that I've witnessed, Tommy Hitman Hearns, who did most of his best work before I was born. But in theory, if Ian can do that, now, when I talk about it's a trade-off, okay, Ian does have this ability to get points, scoring him, keep him at range. He has that ability. Islam wishes that Ian was even taller and even longer and had even more ability, because as a wrestler, it just gives him more to get under. Taking a tall guy down is so much easier, just because there's more body to grab.
Islam Makhachev hasn't fought since November last year when he took the belt of Jack Della Maddalena in a tremendous performance. I mean, Jack couldn't do anything. And Jack is good. That shows you how good Islam is, right? But Jack Della Maddalena is number one. Pardon me, Ian Garry's number two. Michael Morales, and we know last time out, went out there and smoked Sean Brady. Carlos Praches, well, Ian Garry has a win over Carlos, right? So you would think naturally Ian Garry would come before Carlos Praches. And I think that Carlos has got his eyes on a fight with
Ian Machado. Garry was here in attendance tonight, and he's been very vocal about the possibility of getting the next title shot at 170 pounds. What's the likelihood that we see him against Islam Makhachev next?
Machado versus Makhachev, is there a possibility? Is it likely? He was here today. Ian Garry, he's very vocal about trying to fight Makhachev next. Is it possible that we see that fight next?
Yeah, like Islam's coming back from an injury, a hand injury. As soon as he's ready, we'll figure out what's next for him. with Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje and how amazing that card was. We've got McGregor's return next month, and I was looking at UFC 330. I was looking at UFC Philadelphia, and I was thinking, what if they don't do Makhachev versus Garry? What if they hit us with a Kayla Harris and Amanda Nunes main event, and we're right back where we left off, and momentum slows down? We are keeping the ball rolling, and we need to make sure of that. And
I am worried about Islam Makhachev coming into this fight, because I could sit here and say that, well, those dudes, Hamzat, Ilya, you know, the list goes on, they are not Islam, right? And obviously, Islam, to me, just might be the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. He is, in the very least, got to be in your top 5, right? I think that it's debatable whether you could say that he's the greatest of all time. We got
UFC 330.
Let's do it.
That's the biggest news of the week so far. We all kind of thought that Islam Makhachev versus Ian Garry was going to be the main event for that fight.
Sure.
But with the White House and International Fight Week, getting the Conor announcement out of the way and all of that, it felt like the UFC was just, they had that fight made, but they were just kind of sitting on it and waiting for, you know, the dust to settle, the White House to be over with.
I'll start off talking about Islam Makhachev. Like I said, he's never seen this before. Islam Makhachev is, in my opinion, though, the most skilled fighter in UFC history, period. I feel like there's not a lot of people who could actually go in the ring or go in the octagon and outstrike Islam. I said and I've been right about this every time, and everyone's been mad, and I debated bedtime about it. He thought JDM was going to outstrike or be the better striker than Islam. I said, there's no way in hell that would happen.
Extremely hard to track him down.
Why are you glazing the strike? Islam's a better striker than that.
But guess what? If you watched Garry outside the UFC, you would know he was primarily a grappler. Before that, beat Jeff Neal. Before that, whoop Neil Magny. Beat him within an inch of his life. Look, it's not like an all-time GOAT resume, but look at his last 3 fights. Look at his last 3 fights. Bilal Muhammad, Carlos Prates, Shavkat Rakhmonov. Even though that's a loss. Look at that level of opposition that he's fighting. It's just insane. 17-1.
We cannot have this dude as the champion, man. Can you imagine Ian Garry as the champ? I'm joking around a little bit, man. I'm not really like that. But at the end of the day, kind of would be a little annoying with Ian Garry as the champ. Let's be honest. But he absolutely is the one that should be fighting for the belt. I've been very vocal about that. And now we got fight news.
Garry is going to beat Makhachev. I think from a stylistic standpoint, he's a nightmare for Islam Makhachev. This could age like milk. So in this video today, I'm going to talk about how Ian Garry can win this fight, and also how Islam Makhachev can win this fight. Okay? We're going to start with Ian Garry, though. How does Ian Garry win this fight? He wins it on points. He wins it on points. And how is he going to win? It's simple, really. He's going to...
It was still able to take Ilya's best shots and keep moving forward.